Welcome back to Baby Girl's perspective of her life. Summertime in Texas sure was hot. Thank God we had a fishing pond. Of course, Dad wouldn't take me fishing anymore after the first incident we had. My very first and very last day of fishing. But there was 500 acres to run on. Dad was like a kid on his four-wheeler, and I chased him around, jumping through the tall grass. I chased the cows, the horses grazing in the field. They're looking at me like I was some weird animal. And every time we went out, I always got my dad a snake. Boy, was he afraid of those dang things. He. But that's my way of getting him back for leaving me alone when he has to go to that cold, dark place called prison. Well, let me tell you about the fishing story. So I finally get my chance to get on that fishing boat with Dad. And I'm peering in the water, just eagerly waiting to see Dad cast out his line. And all of a sudden, he reels it in. I'm getting really excited. I wonder what he has. Says he pulls it up out of the water. I swear, as my name is Baby Girl, I was in the air taking that big fish off his hook. My dad dropped everything. He was screaming, "Baby Girl, I told you not to get in that water. There's deadly snakes." He jumps in after me, and I'm just swimming around that pond, proud as could be. I got me a big old fish and run out. Dad's swimming after me. Now remember, he's deadly afraid of snakes. And there sure are a lot of water moccasins in here. Little did I know that until I almost got snake bit by one. Dad's swimming away. I get myself up on the shore. I'm just sitting there with this big bass in my mouth. He finally reaches me. He's out of breath, his clothes soaking wet. Everything went into the water. His fishing pole, his cooler, his hat. But as he got up there, put his arm around me, I dropped that fish right by him where he was laying. And my tail's a wagging, my ears are perked up, my tongue's a hanging out. I got a smile on my face. Daddy rolls over on his back and looks up at me and just laughs. He said, "Baby girl, I don't know what I'm going to do with you, but you and I both are lucky. We didn't get bit." I said, "Dad, I just wanted to help you fish." My dad pointed at the water. I looked and I saw all these slithering things coming towards us up to the shore. And Dad said, "Baby girl, this is why I said don't get in this water. We gotta go now because they're coming up on shore after us." That was my first and only time fishing, but it was the best fishing trip I ever had, even though it was in our pond. Every time Dad would go fishing from then on out, I'd sit on the shore eagerly waiting to see his catch of the day. Boy, did I sure love eating them bass Dad caught. Anyhow, Dad went back and got the boat later. Of course, he saddled up one of the horses. He wasn't getting back in that water. He saw all them snakes scared the shit out of him. I tell you what, I just giggled. We had this huge red barn on the property. On my way down on his days off, we had this huge red barn on the property. On Dad's days off, me and him would go down to the barn and clean it up. He talked about this huge party we were going to have. It's called a New Year's Eve. We were going to have a bonfire, some deer chili, and lots of correctional officers. Dad told me the correctional officers were like Dad, the officers. Dad was a sergeant. They had gray uniforms too. But Dad showed me his lapel pin. I said, the other officers don't have this. Or that's what Dad was telling me. But they're going to be coming over. Dad said, we got to make that place look like that dance form from this movie. I can't think of the name of it now. But we got to clean it all up and make it look good. We got to make it a dance hall for good old country days. I was so excited. Dad would tease me about the deer chili and play with me and dance with me. That didn't make sense, so excuse that part. I was so excited. Dad grabbed me by my paws and was dancing with me all around the barn. We had a fun, cleaning day. At night, that red barn lit up like shining stars above in the sky. It was so beautiful. Me and Dad sat back looking at the work we had done. Him drinking his sweet tea and my bowl full of fresh water. And of course, he brought me treats out. He lit a bonfire that night. He sat and talked to me about fishing and hunting. He really didn't like hunting. He didn't like to kill things. But he had an old buddy that was 80-something years old that insisted he teach him how to hunt. He wanted to show him how to get a deer. So his buddy Bill set up some hunting stands out there and was teaching Dad how to hide and crouch down from the deer. So the day came, Bill came over real early in the morning and they went out there hunting. Dad got the first kill. Dad was telling me, baby girl, I looked at that deer's eyes and I shot it right between its head. It was a 10-pointer. Bill said that was a damn good thing for a first timer. Little did Bill know, Dad told me he cried. That was the first known deer Dad killed. He vowed never to kill again unless he really had to survive off the land. So he just stuck to fishing. He started crying when he told me that story. He's not much on sport hunting, I'll tell you what. He thinks it's a cruel thing that people go out there and hunt for sport. It's like killing off the species, he tells me. People make a game out of it. He could respect those that hunt to eat. At least that's what he told me. I, of course, hunted all the time. Snakes, mice, birds. My other favorite was chicken. Boy, howdy did I love them chickens. But every time I hunted one of them chickens, Dad had to go to the neighbors and pay for them and apologize. He had to train me not to kill them chicken. The last chicken I killed, and it was the very last chicken I killed, because he hung it around my neck and made me wear that damn god-awful thing for days. It stunk awful. So I stopped. So my dad, like I said before, he was a sergeant at the time when I met him for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. The reason I know a lot about my dad is because he talks to me every day when he comes home from work. So you see, I didn't know this at the time. My dad really wasn't a guy when I first met him. I thought he was. Never fazed me once. I didn't notice. I always treated him like my dad, and he was going to be my dad till the end of my time on his time. The only reason I found out was that he wasn't a man back then was him and his friends were talking one night and were asking him questions about sexuality. I listened with ears perked up. Me being a young pup, the only reason I know I'm a young pup because when Dad took me to the dog doctor, the vet, as he calls it, the vet told Dad that I was only 6 months old, thereabouts, and that I had been shot in the head and I had been shot in the back, and I had butt shots all the way from the head all the way to the back end of my tailbone. But the vet doctor said that it wouldn't do me any harm. Dad also paid $3,500. I was very unhealthy and you could see nothing but bones. Excuse me. Anyways, I had no idea what sexuality was due to the fact my dad fixed me. He said so I wouldn't have babies. Shit. I didn't even know what babies meant or being fixed meant when he took me to a doggy doctor, but apparently I'm a girl, hence the name baby girl. So my dad, as his friends called him from the prison, Triple S or Sergeant Elsass. All the officers were sitting around with him drinking beer and throwing bones. Now I was looking for them damn bones. They said they were throwing them. I didn't see one damn bone. All I kept hearing was slamming on the table with these square pieces that had dots on them. Dad laughed at me because I kept circling the table. He knew I was looking for bones, so he got up and got me some real bones that were not square nor did they slam on the floor. I tried it. I put the bone in the air and smack, let it hit the floor. I eagerly picked it up, went under Dad's chair, and ate my real bone. Back to the story of my dad. His friends talking about sexuality. I get sidetracked, especially when food's involved. Bacon, bacon, bacon. So my dad was born a female. He was telling his friends he never felt like that. He said at the age of 5, he knew he was different. And he wanted to transition to be a man. He said when he looked in the mirror, he felt as though he was looking at a stranger. The sad eyes, full of pain and hurt, hidden truths about how he felt. I saw those eyes once, and it made me cry so hard. Dad goes on. I'm afraid to let anybody know who I am on the job because I'm afraid of losing my career, he tells me as he speaks to his friends. I've worked so hard to become a sergeant. He worked so hard to become a sergeant. He worked hard to get 2 degrees in criminal law and criminal justice. He told me he wanted to end his career as an assistant warden, but if he came out that he felt male inside and wanted to transition into a male, he was afraid of retaliation, and he didn't want to lose his career. His career was everything to him. He loved that job. That job made him happy. I made him even happier. His buddies said, Triple S, it doesn't matter who you are. We all care and love about you. So you be you. His friends would pat me on the head and throw me treats every once in a while. Dad was telling me we were over at Sergeant Pill's house. That was one of his best buddies. I loved going over there with Dad. We'd sit around bonfire on his days off. And all the officers from Dad at Sergeant Pill's ship would come over. Dad and the other sergeant would cook up big old meals for them because they knew they had families. Sergeant Pill had a girlfriend named Officer Karen. Officer Karen was nice to me too. It's probably about the only female I liked of Dad's friends. Anyways, I'm going to end this story right here. Y'all have a good night.